The roar of engines fills the desert air, and the ground shakes as an army of tanks charges into the heart of enemy territory. It's February 1991, and the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment is about to engage in one of the most intense battles of Desert Storm. Captain Herbert McMaster, leading the charge from his M1 Abrams, doesn't know what's coming next. An ambush? A deadly showdown, or perhaps an enemy they can't defeat? Get ready to witness history as these mighty machines clash with the T-72s in a battle for survival. Eagle 15, put on Psywar off and make it loud. It's the 23rd of February 1991. Shall we dance? The 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment charges through the Iraqi border in Operation Desert Storm. Amidst the roar of tanks, Captain Herbert Raymond McMaster stands confidently atop his M1A1 Abrams, commanding Eagle Troop into the heat of battle. After weeks of anticipation, it's finally time to go. The column of American tanks pushes into enemy territory, and to their surprise, there is no resistance at all. The enemy positions fall one by one, with Iraqi conscripts surrendering in droves. Some even walk aimlessly through the desert. Greeted by confused cheers from the 2nd ACR, they advance unhindered for 2 full days, but that peace won't last. Far to the east, the Tawakalna Republican Guard lies in wait, a more battle-hardened force, unwilling to surrender so easily. The men wake to a stormy morning. A sandstorm rolls in, dramatically cutting visibility to almost nothing. Despite the chaos, the entire troop is ready for action. The go-ahead comes quickly. Engines roar to life, and 6 M2 Bradleys from the 1st platoon move ahead, taking point. The 2nd ACR pushes through the sandstorm, a miles-long formation making its way deeper into enemy territory. McMaster crouches down, observing through his thermal sight, but the view is clear, nothing's there. Then out of nowhere, explosions shatter the silence. McMaster and his men quickly assess the situation using thermals and binoculars. There's no enemy in sight. The explosions? Airburst artillery, sending shrapnel flying through the air. Without hesitation, the Bradleys and Abrams break formation, maneuvering around the blast zone. McMaster's heart swells with pride. The men are acting exactly as they've been trained. As they regroup and continue, McMaster's eyes narrow as something catches his attention. A village through the haze. It doesn't feel right. There's no infrastructure, no signs of life. It must be an Iraqi outpost. The loader slams a high-explosive anti-tank shell into the breach, preparing for a possible attack. But McMaster pauses. He scans the area one last time, looking for civilians. His eyes sweep the line, and everything seems to check out. No civilians, no life. Suddenly muzzle flashes. Low-caliber bullets start hitting their armor. McMaster's Abrams responds with a thunderous roar, firing a round that flies through the air with precision. It hits the target, and in an instant the building crumbles, sending dust and debris flying into the air, a signal to the rest of the tanks. They open fire in unison, their blasts deafening, as the building is obliterated. Meanwhile, on the far edge of the formation, Bradley's Eagle 13 and 16 Spot 2 Iraqi T-72s waiting in ambush. The men freeze, but they know they have an advantage. The sandstorm, which had been their cover, is now the enemy's blindness. The Bradley's thermal vision locks onto the T-72s. The turrets spin and missiles are ready to fire. With eerie precision, the Bradleys launch their TOW missiles. The first missile screams across the battlefield, tracking its target with unyielding accuracy. The T-72 detonates, its turret flying sky-high in a violent explosion. The second Bradley fires. The missile hits its mark, and the second T-72 explodes in a flash of fire. McMaster watches in awe. The battlefield goes quiet. He reflects, thinking to himself, how can metal burn like that? They advance, leaving the wrecks behind. But McMaster knows there are more to come. Red 1, this is Black 6, switching to tank lead. The Bradleys slow, allowing the Abrams to take the lead. They form an arrow formation, McMaster at the center, pushing deeper into the heart of enemy territory. They reach the 70th easting, but McMaster knows there's a crest ahead. A small rise in the terrain, but one that could hide a deadly surprise. Without orders, McMaster leads his Abrams up over the crest. From his thermal sight, dozens of enemy targets light up, dug-in tanks, trenches, and anti-tank weapons. It's a wall of defense, ready for battle. The plan to bypass the enemy goes out the window. McMaster's crosshairs land on a T-72, a staggering 1.4 kilometers away. The Abrams opens fire. The round hits its target with precision, but there's no immediate response from the enemy. In the storm, the Iraqi tanks are blind, scrambling to react as the Abrams roll in. McMaster doesn't wait. The armor-piercing round rips through the enemy tank, bursting it into flames. The Abrams press forward, the roar of battle echoing in the storm. Iraqi forces scramble, but it's too late. The Americans push forward relentlessly, obliterating the enemy's defensive positions. Rounds zip through the air, crashing into the earth. McMaster's crew remains focused, their training kicking in as they charge through the chaos. Then, just as McMaster is about to make another move, an Iraqi T-72 emerges. The driver swerves, avoiding a direct hit but narrowly missing the enemy vehicle. It's a dangerous game, but McMaster's team is resilient. Back on the front lines, the Abrams continue their devastating assault. The Bradleys fire on enemy trenches, their cannons cutting down the remaining forces. They push through the wreckage, their firepower unstoppable. As McMaster orders a final push, the radio crackles. How many casualties? No casualties. No casualties to report. In just 23 minutes, a scouting force that wasn't even meant to engage has wiped out 50 T-72 tanks, 25 armored personnel carriers, 40 trucks, and countless other vehicles without losing a single man or vehicle. McMaster would go on to receive the Silver Star for his actions. His leadership would be remembered and his bravery immortalized. To this day, he remains a symbol of courage under fire, a man who led his troops to victory with unmatched precision.